the Cleveland Browns just detonated the quarterback room, and nobody saw it coming quite like this. Behind closed doors, during what was supposed to be a routine team meeting, head coach Kevin Stefanski dropped a bombshell that has already sent shockwaves through the entire NFL. Rookie sensation Shedeur Sanders has been named the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, effective immediately. This wasn't a depth chart shuffle, it wasn't a simple lineup tweak, it was a seismic decision that upended the entire organizational philosophy of the Browns and ripped open a heated clash between generations. On one side stood Joe Flacco, Super Bowl champion, proven veteran, respected leader. On the other side, a 21-year-old rookie barely months into his NFL journey, but already carrying the electricity of a franchise reborn. The choice to crown Shedeur wasn't just about football, it was about identity, direction, and risk at the highest possible stakes. Sources inside the facility say the announcement stunned the room into silence. Some players reportedly nodded with quiet excitement, others exchanged glances of disbelief, and one veteran even muttered, "This changes everything." And they weren't wrong. With a single decision, Cleveland shifted from playing it safe with a battle-tested veteran to gambling everything on the unproven brilliance of a rookie who has done nothing but impress in camp. But here's where the story turns explosive. Joe Flacco did not take the decision quietly. Not even close. Multiple witnesses say the veteran quarterback, who believed he'd be the starter after weeks of conversations with Stefanski, reacted with visible frustration. He left the meeting early, skipped his media obligations, and later demanded a private sit-down with the coaching staff. What unfolded next has been described as professional, but heated a direct confrontation between a veteran with championship rings and a head coach doubling down on the future. For the Browns, this is uncharted territory. For years, Cleveland has been defined by instability at quarterback, cycling through more starters since 1999 than any other franchise. And now, instead of leaning on Flacco's steady hand, they've chosen to hand the keys to a rookie who hasn't played a single regular season snap. It's bold, it's risky, and it has the potential to either transform the Browns into an instant contender or implode their season before it even begins. Fans across Cleveland aren't waiting to find out. Within hours, social media lit up like wildfire. Jersey sales for Sanders spiked, highlight reels flooded timelines, and hashtags like QB1 and "This is the future" trended nationally. Meanwhile, national analysts are split, some praising Stefanski for having the courage to make a pure performance-based decision, others calling it reckless and premature. Vegas even adjusted the Browns' win projections upward the same day, proving just how impactful one quarterback change can be. This isn't just a quarterback controversy, it's a full-blown revolution in Cleveland. And the real story? The drama between Shedeur Sanders, Joe Flacco, and Kevin Stefanski is only just beginning. When Kevin Stefanski stood before his team and declared Shedeur Sanders the starting quarterback, it wasn't simply a coaching decision, it was a statement, a line drawn in the sand. The Cleveland Browns weren't just picking a player, they were redefining their identity. For weeks, the Browns' quarterback competition had been one of the most closely watched in the NFL. The outside world speculated endlessly, insiders whispered conflicting reports, and players in the locker room tried to read Stefanski's every move. The assumption was that Joe Flacco, with his Super Bowl ring and veteran presence, would hold the position until Shedeur had time to adjust to the speed of the NFL. It was the safe bet, the conventional choice, the path of least resistance. But safe isn't always the best, and Stefanski knew it. According to multiple team sources, Stefanski and his staff had spent the entire preseason in intense evaluation mode. They pored over practice film, charted every throw, graded every decision, and measured leadership qualities that don't show up on stat sheets. By the time the final preseason whistle blew, the data was undeniable. Shedeur Sanders wasn't just holding his own, he was outperforming everyone in the room, including Flacco. His completion percentage hovered near 70%. His touchdown-to-interception ratio was elite for a rookie. His command of third downs mirrored seasoned veterans. And most telling of all, defenders inside the building admitted his throws were nearly unguardable. One assistant coach, speaking anonymously, summed it up bluntly. "We tried finding reasons not to start him. We couldn't. Every metric, every category, every intangible he just dominated. There wasn't a single legitimate football reason to keep him on the bench." That realization forced Stefanski into one of the biggest decisions of his coaching career. Historically, Cleveland has been haunted by instability at quarterback. 34 different starters since the franchise's return in 1999. Failed prospects, short-lived veterans, and controversial experiments had left scars on a fan base desperate for stability. To hand the job to a rookie, no matter how talented, wasn't just a gamble, it was a direct challenge to decades of ingrained caution. But Stefanski made it clear from day one of camp, performance would outweigh reputation. No past trophies, no career longevity, and no sentimental attachments would determine the Browns' starter. It would come down to who gave the team the best chance to win right now, and Shedeur Sanders, despite his youth, earned it. The moment the words left Stefanski's mouth, the Browns' future changed. This wasn't a bridge year. This wasn't about waiting for tomorrow. The Browns were signaling to the NFL that they were ready to win today, with a rookie leading the charge. Of course, not everyone agreed. Inside that very room, some players celebrated while others sat in stunned silence. Flacco's reaction would soon dominate headlines, but the truth is, the decision itself was the real turning point. Cleveland wasn't just rolling the dice on a young quarterback, they were betting their entire franchise on a revolution. So how did a rookie quarterback barely months removed from college force his way into the starting role over a Super Bowl winning veteran? The answer is simple. Shedeur Sanders didn't just meet expectations, he obliterated them. From the very first training camp practice, Sanders showcased poise that felt out of place for a rookie. He wasn't rattled by defensive pressure, he wasn't wide-eyed under the lights. Instead, he carried himself like a quarterback who had been in the league for years. Teammates noticed it instantly. His cadence was sharp, his reads were quick, and his confidence radiated through the huddle. One veteran lineman reportedly told staff, "The kid doesn't flinch. You look at him and it feels like he's already been here a decade." But this wasn't just about swagger, it was about production. Sanders backed up his presence with results that stunned even seasoned evaluators. His completion percentage throughout camp and preseason hovered around the 70% mark, an unheard-of number for a rookie quarterback adjusting to NFL defenses. He wasn't padding stats with easy throws either. Reports confirmed he was attacking tight windows, hitting receivers in stride, and making throws across the middle that even veterans hesitate to attempt. Then came the red zone. In drills where space shrinks and decision-making is tested, Sanders thrived. Sources inside the Browns facility claim he converted nearly 80% of his red zone opportunities into touchdowns during scrimmages. That number didn't just impress coaches, it floored them. In a league where efficiency inside the 20 can decide entire seasons, Sanders was delivering at a level usually reserved for top-tier quarterbacks. The third down tests painted an equally compelling picture. Facing the starting defense in live periods, Sanders' conversion rate ranked among the best on the team. He extended plays with his legs, manipulated pockets with subtle movements, and displayed anticipation well beyond his years. One Pro Bowl cornerback reportedly admitted privately, "He's making throws that some veterans wouldn't even attempt. His ball placement makes it impossible for us to defend cleanly." And it wasn't just about the numbers. Stefanski and his staff noticed Sanders' intangibles, the qualities you can't quantify on a stat sheet. He commanded the offense with authority. When a mistake happened, he owned it instantly and corrected it. When the huddle felt tense, he loosened it with calm confidence. By the time the Browns reached their final preseason practices, it was clear the rookie wasn't just competing, he was leading. For the coaching staff, the evaluation process became less about finding reasons to start Shedeur and more about searching for reasons not to, and according to one assistant coach, "We didn't find any." That's why, despite Joe Flacco's experience, despite the risks of throwing a rookie into the fire, and despite the inevitable backlash from critics, Shedeur Sanders won the job. Not through politics, not through hype, but through undeniable performance that made the decision unavoidable. If Shedeur Sanders' promotion was the spark, Joe Flacco's reaction was the explosion. For weeks, Flacco carried himself with the quiet confidence of a man who believed the job was his. He had spoken openly to the media about his leadership, his experience, and the stability he could provide. He had conversations with coaches that left him feeling reassured about his role. In his mind, the script was already written. He would guide the team through the early season while Sanders learned from the sidelines. But when Kevin Stefanski stood in that team meeting and named Shedeur the starter, the veteran's world flipped upside down. Multiple sources described Flacco's face as stunned. He sat silently at first, then rose abruptly, and left the meeting without a word. Within hours, he had skipped his scheduled media availability and was gone from the facility. For a player as professional and composed as Flacco, this wasn't just unusual, it was a sign of how deeply the decision cut. Reports later confirmed that Flacco requested a private sit-down with Stefanski and members of the coaching staff. What happened behind those closed doors has been described as both professional and intense. Flacco directly challenged the evaluation process, demanding clarity on the criteria used to reach such a monumental decision. He pointed to statistical categories where he believed he still held an edge: experience, game management, and turnover control. More than that, he warned about the dangers of thrusting a rookie into the starting role too soon. According to one individual present, Flacco's frustration boiled down to respect. He felt that his career resume, Super Bowl champion, over a decade of starting experience, and recent flashes of strong play deserved more weight in the decision. To him, being bypassed wasn't just a football choice, it was a dismissal of everything he had accomplished. Stefanski, however, didn't budge. He acknowledged Flacco's concerns but emphasized one point: the Browns were choosing the quarterback who gave them the best chance to win now, and that quarterback was Shedeur Sanders. Calm but firm, Stefanski explained that this was not a slight against Flacco, but a performance-based decision rooted in what the team had witnessed throughout camp. Still, the damage was done. The once stable quarterback room now carried visible tension. Players whispered about the exchange, wondering how Flacco would respond moving forward. Some worried that mentorship for Sanders had been fractured before it even began. Others felt that Flacco's disappointment was justified, that the organization had shifted direction without full transparency. One source described the mood perfectly. It wasn't a screaming match, but you could feel the weight of it. Joe felt betrayed, Kevin felt firm in his choice, and everyone else just felt the pressure building. What should have been a moment of celebration for a rookie quickly turned into one of the most dramatic quarterback controversies Cleveland has faced in years, and the fallout from that tension was only just beginning. The announcement of Shedeur Sanders as the Browns' starting quarterback sent shockwaves far beyond the coaching staff. Inside the locker room, a storm was quietly brewing, one that tested leadership, loyalty, and the delicate balance of team chemistry. Players who had spent years under Joe Flacco's guidance suddenly faced the reality that their veteran leader was no longer the focal point. Some embraced the change with excitement, seeing the energy and potential that Sanders brought. Others, loyal to Flacco, struggled to reconcile years of camaraderie with the abrupt shift in hierarchy. According to sources, the quarterback room immediately felt the strain. Coaches and veterans scrambled to maintain cohesion, knowing that division in the locker room could undermine an entire season before it even started. The quarterback coach reportedly held multiple private sessions, reminding players that team success must supersede individual disappointment. The message was clear: support the starter, respect Flacco, and focus on collective goals. Players' reactions were as varied as their personalities. Some veterans, particularly skill position players, were reportedly thrilled about the prospect of Sanders' explosive abilities. They recognized the opportunity for big plays, creative routes, and a more dynamic offense that could elevate the entire unit. One receiver allegedly told teammates, "He's seeing windows nobody thought existed. This offense under him could be unstoppable." At the same time, other players expressed concern. Flacco had been a stabilizing presence in previous seasons, a quarterback who had earned respect through leadership and consistency. The abrupt promotion of a rookie raised questions. Could Sanders handle the pressure of the NFL? Would mistakes fracture the team? Could Flacco maintain his professionalism while adjusting to a backup role? These uncertainties created a tension-filled atmosphere, with whispers and speculation rippling through the facility. To address the growing unease, the Leadership Council, comprised of veteran players across positions, convened additional meetings. Their goal was to ensure a unified public message while acknowledging private concerns. The discussions emphasized that loyalty to teammates and the organization remained paramount, regardless of personal opinions about the quarterback decision. By establishing clear expectations, the leadership sought to prevent fractures from spreading, maintaining a culture of accountability and professionalism. Even outside the locker room, the ripple effects were felt. Training sessions reportedly carried a heightened intensity, as players pushed themselves harder to support Sanders while demonstrating their commitment to the team. Walkthroughs and meetings extended, and coaches monitored interactions closely, looking for signs of friction or hesitation. Every drill, every conversation became an opportunity to reinforce cohesion and maintain focus on winning football. The Browns' locker room was, in essence, navigating a delicate balancing act, integrating an untested rookie quarterback while honoring a seasoned veteran whose career and leadership had helped define the team. The fallout was inevitable, but so was the opportunity for growth. If handled carefully, the tensions could galvanize the roster rather than divide it, creating a team that thrived under pressure and embraced the challenges of a new era. As news of Shedeur Sanders' promotion spread beyond Cleveland's locker room, the response was immediate, intense, and unpredictable. Fans across the city erupted in a mix of excitement, disbelief, and anticipation. Social media platforms lit up with trending hashtags like QB1, This is the Future, and Shine with Shedeur, with posts racking up millions of impressions within hours. Memes, highlight clips from preseason, and fan analyses flooded timelines, creating a digital frenzy rarely seen for a rookie's promotion. Season ticket holders reportedly flocked to team offices, celebrating the bold decision. In bars, restaurants, and fan gatherings throughout Cleveland, discussions revolved around one central question: could a rookie quarterback truly transform the Browns' season? Enthusiastic fans cited Sanders' electrifying preseason numbers, his poise under pressure, and his potential to revolutionize the offense. One viral post summed it up bluntly: "We didn't draft a prime talent just to sit him on the bench. QB1 belongs, period." But it wasn't just local fans reacting. National media outlets scrambled to cover the story, recognizing both the drama and the potential implications for the league. Analysts were split. Some praised Kevin Stefanski's courage, highlighting a growing trend in the NFL, prioritizing immediate talent over experience. They argued that Sanders' abilities were too exceptional to ignore, and that Cleveland's willingness to start a rookie reflected a bold, forward-thinking philosophy. Others were more skeptical. Critics questioned the wisdom of placing a first-year signal caller into the starting role immediately, especially with a seasoned veteran like Joe Flacco on the roster. They raised concerns about the rookie's ability to handle complex defenses, in-game adversity, and the intense pressure of a primetime debut. Pundits debated whether the decision was as much about performance as it was about optics, marketing, or creating a national narrative. Even sports gambling markets reacted quickly. Lines shifted, win projections were adjusted, and analysts recalculated playoff probabilities. Reports indicate Cleveland's projected win total increased by roughly 1.5 games purely based on Sanders' elevation to starter. The ripple effect was immediate, reflecting the perception of both potential and risk surrounding the rookie's role. Meanwhile, highlight reels of Sanders' preseason performances circulated widely, with analysts breaking down throws, pocket awareness, and decision-making. Comparisons to previous NFL rookies emerged, sparking debates about how accelerated deployment might reshape rookie quarterback development. For many, Cleveland had become the center of a national conversation, transforming a small-market franchise into must-watch television almost overnight. Amid the fervor, it became clear that this decision was about more than just football. It was a cultural event, a story that captivated fans, analysts, and the broader sports world alike. Sanders' debut season was now more than a test of talent. It was a narrative, a spectacle, and a challenge to convention. Every throw, every play, every win or loss would be dissected, debated, and amplified, far beyond Cleveland. In short, the Browns' choice had turned the city into a hive of anticipation and the NFL into a stage watching closely, waiting to see if Shedeur Sanders could live up to the enormous expectations placed upon him. When Shedeur Sanders earned the starting quarterback job, the spotlight didn't just fall on him, it extended to his family, his support system, and most notably, his father, Deion Sanders. Known for his larger-than-life personality and unyielding standards, Coach Prime has been a guiding force in Shedeur's development from the very beginning. According to multiple sources close to the family, Deion maintained consistent communication with his son throughout the entire evaluation process, offering advice, perspective, and a steadying presence amid the whirlwind of scrutiny. While most rookies face the pressure of a new city, new teammates, and the relentless pace of the NFL, Shedeur had the advantage of having a mentor who not only understood the league's demands, but had conquered them. Prime reportedly provided guidance on everything from film study habits to handling media attention and internal politics. Even during the Browns' closed-door meetings where the final decision was made, Deion stayed in contact, quietly reinforcing confidence in his son's preparation, skills, and readiness. Beyond the personal mentorship, Deion Sanders publicly praised the Browns for their approach. In statements released moments after the announcement, he emphasized the fairness of the evaluation process, commending the coaching staff for letting performance speak louder than reputation. At the same time, he reiterated his commitment to his son's ongoing development, framing the promotion as both an opportunity and a challenge that Shedeur had to earn and sustain through preparation and professionalism. Family influence aside, Deion's presence added another layer to the media narrative. Analysts and fans alike quickly noted that this wasn't just a rookie quarterback story, it was the debut of Shedeur Sanders under the watchful eye of one of football's most iconic figures. The connection amplified attention nationally, creating expectations that extended far beyond Cleveland. Every throw, every snap, and every decision would be compared not only to NFL standards but to the legendary aura surrounding his father. Ownership dynamics also intersected with this effect. Sources suggest that Browns owner Jimmy Haslam and the front office were aware of the commercial and marketing potential Shedeur brought, amplified by his association with Deion Sanders. While Stefanski emphasized that the decision was performance-based, it's clear that the attention surrounding Shedeur created additional pressure and opportunity for the organization. Jersey sales, national media appearances, and social engagement spiked almost instantly, reflecting a phenomenon that went beyond football. Despite all this attention, insiders note that Shedeur has remained remarkably focused. Reports describe him as methodical, disciplined, and quiet in his preparation. He reportedly contacted his family immediately after the official announcement, but quickly immersed himself back into film study and practice, demonstrating maturity that belied his rookie status. The combination of personal mentorship from Deion, performance-based validation from the coaching staff, and organizational support created a unique ecosystem for Sanders, a balance of expectation, guidance, and opportunity few rookies ever experience. In short, the Deion Sanders effect is more than a family story. It's a critical factor in Cleveland's quarterback experiment. It provides context for Shedeur's poise, explains the amplified media attention, and highlights the rare mentorship and support system that could make or break his rookie season. For the Browns, having a quarterback with such a foundation may prove as important as arm strength, accuracy, or mobility, because in the NFL, mental preparation is just as vital as physical talent. The story of Shedeur Sanders' promotion is far from over. It's just beginning. Cleveland has taken a calculated risk, betting its present and future on a rookie quarterback whose talent and poise have already turned heads. The implications are immense, not just for the Browns, but for the NFL as a whole. Every decision, every throw, every game this season carries extraordinary weight. For Shedeur Sanders, the stakes couldn't be higher. Week 1 is only the beginning of a journey that will test his mental toughness, technical skill, and leadership. Mistakes are inevitable, and the pressure will be relentless, both internally from coaches and teammates, and externally from a fan base, media, and the broader league watching every play. Yet his preparation, work ethic, and mentorship under Deion Sanders provide him with tools few rookies ever possess. The foundation is there, but the proving ground is brutal. For Joe Flacco, the decision marks a pivotal moment in his career. The veteran's frustration is understandable, but how he responds will define his role moving forward. His professionalism, experience, and mentorship remain valuable, and navigating this transition gracefully could preserve his legacy while supporting the team's collective goal. Cleveland's locker room will be tested as players balance loyalty, ambition, and the need for cohesion. How the roster adapts to this shift could determine whether Sanders' ascent strengthens or strains the team. For the organization, the Browns are staking their credibility, philosophy, and competitive ambitions on a bold, untested path. Kevin Stefanski's decision signals a commitment to performance over tradition, talent over tenure. The front office is restructuring resources, adapting schemes, and making strategic acquisitions to maximize the advantage offered by a cost-controlled rookie quarterback. It's a high-risk, high-reward approach, one that could redefine not just a single season, but the team's operational philosophy for years. Nationally, the league is watching closely. Cleveland's decision may influence how other franchises evaluate, deploy, and develop rookie quarterbacks in the future. If Sanders thrives, it could accelerate a trend of immediate quarterback utilization, challenging long-held conventions and altering the calculus of player development. If struggles emerge, the Browns may face scrutiny, media backlash, and intense pressure to course-correct, all under the public eye. The narrative surrounding Shedeur Sanders has already become a cultural phenomenon, and how the season unfolds will only heighten the stakes. Ultimately, the Browns' gamble encapsulates the essence of high-stakes football: Uncertainty, talent, preparation, and audacity collide in dramatic fashion. The journey of Shedeur Sanders is not just about touchdowns or wins, it's about organizational courage, individual growth, and the potential reshaping of an entire league. Every snap matters, every decision matters, and every outcome will be analyzed, dissected, and remembered. Cleveland has lit the fuse. Now, the question remains: can a rookie quarterback carry the weight of expectation, transform a franchise, and spark a revolution in the NFL? The answer will define not only this season, but potentially the future of quarterback development across the league. If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this channel grow and lets us know you love this kind of content. And hey, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your friends, your group chats, or anyone who loves football as much as you do. The more the conversation spreads, the better it gets. Most importantly, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss when we drop fresh stories, wild rumors, or breaking updates that the mainstream media won't talk about.